Can't believe they finally put one in the studio. We'll get no work out of the crew at all. But if you grew up in the 80s, you would most certainly be familiar with machines like this. Space Invaders, pinballs and even Donkey Kong were arcade machines that entertained millions of Aussie kids. Well, believe it or not, there are still a few working machines like this one still around. And it's all thanks to our very own retro gaming guru, John Power.
G'day, Damien. How are you?
Mate, welcome to Connected.
Yeah, thank you so much. Good to see you.
Fantastic to have you.
Yeah.
And, of course, all of these wonderful machines.
Yep.
Space Invaders, I'm guessing that would have to be one of the oldest.
Yes, it is. But, you know, the oldest one I have is from 1972 called Pong. Okay, it's like the bat and ball game, you know, the old...
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you sit at a table,
Yep.
and made by Atari.
That's right.
So,
And even back on the old Commodore 64 computer.
Yes.
Well before many people watching.
You can remember that. That's good.
Now, of course, with these machines, I mean, they come in different varieties and forms. With
Yes.
Space Invaders, though, that was one of the big popular ones, wasn't it?
It was the biggest hit in the 70s. Pretty much started the arcade boom off at the late 70s and took it right through to the 80s.
Right.
So
And big in Japan.
it was so big in Japan that they actually ran out of coin. So all the Japanese are putting all their coins in, and they realised they had nothing left. So they had to quickly turn over the machines and empty them out quicker and free up the coinage.
Amazing.
So first game in history to do
Come
that.
over here, because I know with Space Invaders,
Yes.
there's a trick to winning, isn't there?
There is, but do I have to tell you?
Yes, you do.
Oh, okay. Okay, now the trick to Space Invaders is you've got to put your 20 cents in
Oh,
first.
20 cents, yeah, by the way. Yeah.
Okay, when the game starts,
Yep.
the aliens march across in formation from one side to the other.
Right.
And when they do that, they go down one position. So basically every position they go down is closer to game over. So when they come across, shoot them in straight lines before they hit the side, and that way they won't go down any further.
Easy done. We'll
Yes.
see how we go with practice later on.
You need plenty of practice, mate.
I do.
Yes.
Now, this one here, which is a tabletop game, isn't it?
Yes, these were made very popular in the late 70s, through to about 1983. And they featured classic games like Donkey Kong, Pac-Man, Frogger, all those particular types of games. And the reason why they were replaced in 1983, because they had smaller upright cabinets that replaced these. Basically like the Space Invaders, but a lot smaller.
Right.
So you can fit two machines in for one of these. So these were quickly phased out in the early 80s.
Now, looking around at these machines, John,
Yes.
What sort of people buy or rent these machines from you?
Mum and dads that were kids in the 80s are now wanting these. I've got a lot of businesses that want to hire them out for functions. I do a lot of jobs down the entertainment centre for private functions for those.
And, of course, some celebrity buyers too. You've had
Yes,
some, haven't you?
Yes. Shall I mention his name?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, one morning I had a phone call from a gentleman. He said, "Don't you answer emails?" I said, "Yeah, I do." He said, "I want to buy one of your tables, matey." And I said, "Oh, okay." And I didn't believe who he was. He said, "I'm Carl. You know, the Today Show?"
Carl Stefanovic.
That's him. And I said, "No, I don't really believe you." So he sent me a photo of himself. And you know what? He was so happy with the table, he bought one for the other presenter that was on the show.
Ben Fordham. That's
Ben Fordham,
right.
yeah. Ben Fordham's got one of our tables. So
And they like the classics?
They love the classic games.
All right.
Yes.
Now, of course, this one over here, and if you step over this side,
Yes.
this is actually Star Trek. Looks a bit more modern than the others.
It is a bit more modern, and the reason for that is, in the last 5 years, pinball has hit a boom period again. Pinball was very popular in the 70s, and then it got phased out because of the video game craze.
Right.
Now, people are playing less video games on location, and they want a pinball machine.
Ah, I see. So how many
Yes.
machines in total would you have
Yep.
stored under the house?
We've got roughly about 80 and about 400 in our whole collection.
Wow,
Yes.
that is amazing. Your wife must love you.
Oh, Melissa loves it. Every time I bring a new game home, she just asks me, what's next? What is it? She's so curious about it.
All right, now, in case she's watching, what is next into the stable of arcade 80s games?
Okay, since we're going into the pinball and we're standing around one,
Yes?
I haven't told her yet, the next pinball being released by Stern is called Ghostbusters.
Ooh.
Yes, and it's a very unique game because it's based on the old technology, but it's all flashy, and it's on the old cast, not the new movie that's coming out.
So Melissa, watch out. Dan Aykroyd could be coming to your place very soon.
Oh, he is, believe me.
And how much would a machine like that cost?
Generally, a pinball, like from Stern, new is about 8,500.
Wow, so it's not
Yes.
a cheap hobby.
No, but believe it or not, more pinballs are going into people's homes than what people operate them. Like operators like myself, we put them in shops and places like that. Not many of us doing it because they don't give a good return, because everybody wants them for home.
And of course, you had some big hardships back in 2011,
We
like
did.
many in southeast Queensland with the floods.
We did. We lost 75% of our machines on location through Ipswich and the Lockyer Valley area.
Well,
Yeah.
you built that collection back up nice and strong now, haven't you?
We have, and the good thing about running original picture tube screens in our tables and uprights and things, They went for a swim for 4 days, and pretty much after you pull them out of the water, hose them off, they all worked again. LCD screens don't cut it, I'm afraid.
And I've got one here, actually, that we prepared earlier. So this is actually a picture tube.
That's right. It wasn't in the microwave and it didn't shrink, folks. I didn't feel like bringing in a big size tube. So this is a demonstration of a picture tube. It's a sealed glass unit, and pretty much if you throw that in the pool and plug it back in again 4 days later, it still works.
Wow, amazing.
Absolutely. Technology's great.
Mate, it's great. If people are interested, they can also check out your website, arcade80s.com.au.
Yes, that's right. They can do too.
I'm going to hand you that back.
Oh, thanks, mate.
I can't keep the crew at bay any longer, so guys, come in. And we're going to take a break. After this, we'll have a lot more connected. So make sure you stay with us. Play a game.